Hey guys, Sure Midget here. So it currently is raining. It's kind of just sprinkling, but I'm going to try to make this quick. So this is a customer's gun. Came from Texas. So basically, he messaged me and wanted, I think he said he wanted 2 HPA guns done, one for him and one for his brother, and they had sold all their guns and basically to start fresh, and so he wanted to do HPA. So I purchased a G&G combat machine on the internet for him. I got it from Airsoft Station. I think it was 190 shipped. This is the 2.0 version, which is cool. It's got an M-LOK rail, under $200. It did not come with the MOSFET, so the basic G&G internals that come in, they're like $150 guns. But for I think it was 190 with free shipping. Pretty good price for what you get. So let's start from the back and go to the front. We have a crane stock on here, just a basic one, 6 position, metal buffer tube. Got a sling mount down here like all the, well, not all, but most of the G&G M4s include, which is nice because a lot of people will want to sling their gun. This is a very light gun with the HPA system in it though, so honestly, I very rarely sling a gun and use a pistol. I just recommend, especially for indoor with an HPA system, you don't need the pistol, just run this gun as is. Moving forward, it has the combat machine plastic body. It's like the billet style receiver with the ambi mag catch and ambi charging handle. Pretty cool body, honestly, very solid. These are very thick. I honestly don't mind them. The regular G&G bodies, the standard M4 style, are kind of on the brittle side because they're a lot thinner. This is very, very thick. Like, I cannot even squeeze the receiver and bend it because it's so friggin' thick. So these are very solid receivers, upper and lower. They're compatible and they're cheap as all heck. So he could build like a 20-inch DMR up out of this if he wanted to, and then maybe buy a second FCU and do different settings on that FCU. Maybe, or just run the same settings. It might run with the same settings if he were to build a DMR and then he could just semi-lock it, and then when he puts this upper back on, he can switch it to full auto, and then just semi-lock it when he puts the DMR upper on. But unfortunately in Airsoft, we've gotten so picky in the community that a lot of fields require 7.62 ammo in order to be considered a DMR. Which is true for realism for milsims, but for open plays, that is absolutely retarded. If I have a long-barreled M4 that uses these standard mags, like a Mark 12, like an SPR, not quite a DMR, it's like an in-between, but still shoots 5.56. It exists in real life. I should be able to do that. Semi-lock it and run a DMR FPS. Maybe not a milsim, but for open plays, that should be allowed. But unfortunately, we've gotten in a spot in Airsoft where just your average fields try to be so realistic for local milsims or open plays that they completely just disregard a lot of people that, can't come and play at your field now, or cannot build a certain gun just because of your rules. Moving forward, we have a M-LOK rail. It is plastic, but it has zero flex to it. It felt metal when I got it out of the box, but it is plastic. It does not flex at all. This will, it'll fool you as metal, but it's the same color and the same finish as the receiver. So just by looking at it, at least people that know what they're looking at could tell, oh, it's plastic. And that's what I did. I looked at it and I was like, it's just the same material as the receiver, but it feels metal, just minus the coldness, that metal gives you on your hands. He said he had attachments for it already. He was going to throw on here a nice little red dot. A short tracer unit would be cool for indoor, or even a flashlight if he doesn't want to do a tracer, but he is going to be playing indoor, so I'd recommend either a tracer or a flashlight, one or the other, indoor. I'd probably do a tracer because when you go outdoor, you just take the tracer off, put this one back on, whereas if you have a flashlight, you're going to have to keep it on there for indoor and outdoor, and you're not going to need it outdoor. So it's just extra weight on your gun if you go play outdoor, or you can take it off. Just depends, but if you rig up a pressure switch, it's kind of a pain to take all that pressure switch stuff off. Trust me, I know. My flashlight, I use a button on it, not a pressure switch, so I can switch it from gun to gun. But some people don't do that. So, and if you can't have that switching from gun to gun, I probably just recommend a tracer. The barrel is metal, and it's about 10 inches or so. I am happy to say that it actually comes with a rotary hop-up, not the piece of crap stock G&G hop-up. These are pretty nice, even for the price. It does look plastic, but it's rotary, and I'll tell you, it could lift some heavy BBs. in a stock barrel and stock bucking. Just the stock setup, and it actually shoots really good. This is a budget gun. I think he spent about $850 total on everything. You know, regulator, line, tank, you know, my fee, shipping back to him, everything was about $850. As far as the internals on the engine, it just has an F2, just a basic F2 with the red nozzle and low flow poppet that they come with out of the box. You can get an even lower flow poppet, but there's no need to. And this is a silver IGL. I installed that for him. He requested that. And then I also am using a Crytek straight trigger, and I shorten the trigger pull. I'm only shooting at the indoor FPS, which is, he plays at high grounds in Texas, which is 300 feet per second with the 2.5, which is about 330 with the 2. It's like 1 joule with the 2. That's what he's going to be set up for indoor with .25s, which is what I have loaded up in this G&G high cap. We'll chrono it with that, but about 300 with 2.5s for indoor. And then outdoor, I'm probably going to set it around 1.4 with .3s, which is like 365 with the 2. I think that'll be okay for outdoor. It is 35 rounds a second, so it is shooting pretty quick on full auto. But I think 365 and using 3s, which will be like 1.4, is acceptable. I would just encourage him, if he's under like 75 feet, don't use full auto. Just, you know, hit him on semi. Now, the setup that he has is a amped airsoft SLP tank. It is a 62 cubic inch. Great tank. This should last him probably 3,500 shots. Right now we're at 2,000 still. I have shot this quite a bit. We're 2,000 PSI. 70 PSI on the regulator is what we need to be for indoor, and it is the SLP Amped Airsoft regulator. So the whole combo. This was purchased from Amped Airsoft as the player kit. Alright, so I have it like right below 70 PSI, so F2s run very low PSI. So it's not a problem in terms of it cycling and feeding. So we have it just below 70, 297, 302, 303, 302, 302, 302, 300, 299, 304, 299, 300. Pretty consistent. And that was with the 2.5, which is 1.05 joules. So that's what he would be running indoor. Need to turn the hop-up up just a tad. Oh yeah, it's good for indoor here. Trigger response, of course, with an F2. I mean, as fast as you can pull the trigger. And of course, it feeds perfectly. Just a total straight line. Again, 35 rounds a second is what he asked for, and that's what I got him. So right now, where I have it with 2.5s, it is not overhopped much at all. And that's going to be good for indoor. That's like 150 feet engagements. So let's try a mid-cap with .25s. Semi-auto's good. For indoor, let's try full auto. Feeds. And it's empty. So that's actually really good. Alright, so I got .28s loaded up in this mag for outdoor use. He's going to be using .3s is what I'd recommend, because the 3 gram difference between 2.5s and 2H just isn't enough. It needs that extra 2 grams, so it's a 5 total. I would just say use 3s. Now I have the chrono set for 3s, and I only have 2.8s in here, so the joules is not going to be super accurate. But just so that he knows, I would be shooting about 315 with .3s is what I would shoot for. 310 to 315 with 3s. 311, 316, 315, 316, 317, 315. I mean, you can see the consistency there is great. 1.39 joules is what it says it is. So about 1.4. That, again, that was the goal. So we got a Crytek high cap with 2.8s. They are Balkan 2.8s, which I have actually seen pretty good performance with. So let's go ahead and start shooting. Very consistent. I'd say 220 feet where we're sitting right now at the outdoor FPS. We are still at 80 psi, which is 1.4 with a 3 for outdoor. Pretty good. And out of curiosity, let's try 2 8s in a mid-cap. This is at the outdoor FPS to show, you know, 0.3s used in mid-caps. In a decent mid-cap, nothing amazing. Just blasting full auto. And as you can see, it feeds. So, yeah, mid-caps are good to go for 2.5s or 3s. Even just decent ones, not ones that are totally amazing. So, he has full range with this gun. He could, you know, 850 said and done on a nicely tuned HPA system. It's pretty good if you ask me. He even has a battery, the tank regulator, everything. He will need a LiPo charger if he doesn't have one, but I'll charge this up for him, and he'll be able to play probably 2 or 3 times with this battery before he would even need to charge it anyways.